Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, what's up, everyone? Well, I'm gonna do a, VR vlog post, and there are some things that I've seen on YouTube and on social media that really caught my attention. And it's about people who have broken their necks through VR. And the thing is that a lot of people have asked me, since I do dabble in a lot of VR, and I'm a big proponent of uh, of the positive effects of VR, and also letting people know of the negative stuff out of VR. Um, let's go ahead and talk about this because my feeling, I'm not a doctor, so but I do know that people can get injured through repetitive stress. Um, may it be even if you play on a controller, there are people who mess up their fingers, their thumbs. People who are constantly on a keyboard or a mouse can develop, of course, some type of tendonitis or carpal tunnel, especially if you don't give your certain locations of what of things that are being overworked, especially with athletes like tennis players who get tennis elbow, golfers in the wrists, and various other sports. You have to give your body some rest. You have to treat certain repetitive movements. Um, I talk about my shoulder a lot. Bursitis. I got it. Trying to show off on baseball, and it's been a lingering issue that I've had. Once in a while, which now has become even more common as I get older. But as for the VR headset, um, yes, it is heavy in the front, but I do not play more than 1 hour on the VR headset, mainly because, um, you know, I, I have not just of being busy, but uh, there's just only so much I can take. I know in the beginning when I started VR, I started playing a lot of shooters. I started playing a lot of games, which I did for review. And before, people were saying, "Oh yeah, how crazy were you going?" As you can see here, I own literally hundreds of games on the VR, and pretty much I played many of them. And I know certain games that make me dizzy, certain games that really, make me sweat, great for workouts, but also some that I know that, there's only so much I can do per day. Everyone has their limits, and I know for people who love gaming, especially if you played console gaming, a lot of people like to push themselves harder, trying to beat a game, and that's perfectly understood. But the thing is with VR, you're limited, of course, with your battery power. You're limited to, of what you can do physically. And for some people, the strain in their neck is something that people do face. And it's just not VR, because I remember several years ago with the iPad, when the iPad started coming out, and there were concerns about children who were playing games on their iPad and their necks hurting. And I remember, news reports coming out, and a lot of people who were not used to having their neck in a certain way, or they were laying down while playing in a certain way and getting certain muscle pains or some type of neck strain injury. So for me, hearing or reading about these stories about people having injuries through VR gaming is not surprising. What is surprising, though, is that people are breaking their, I believe, the seventh disc on their neck, and these people are playing a lot of hardcore games, and you know, um, I'm not sure if they're some people are using the strap that it came with. Some people say they're playing 3 hours a day, And for me, again, I limit it to 1 hour. I use a different strap. I also, you know, try to make sure I don't overdo things. Um, that's just anything in general, especially if you are doing, especially if you're in the workplace. You go through ergonomics. They tell you, every hour you take your 5 or your 10 minute breaks, you stretch, you walk around, you do things, so you don't, so you so you can prevent certain injuries from happening. Again, I'm not a trainer, I'm not a doctor, but these are things you learn in the workplace. These are things that are, that you learn from reading online of how people, especially athletes or people in the workplace, things that they have in place so people do not get injured. And it's the same thing with VR. VR is new. Yes, everyone's going to start doing it, people of all ages, but you have to know your limits, and you have to know that, you know, you you can't just put a lot of time into it. Yes, there are battery packs coming out for the headsets that give you more power, but for me, again, I know my limits, and I try to keep it an hour. I think the longest I've ever put in a VR game was probably maybe close to 2 to 3 hours of gameplay. But the thing is that since then I don't do it because I started noticing that I started to have um, aches in my head due to the certain straps. In fact, I go through many straps because I'm afraid of getting that pain again. And I noticed that I would get it behind my head. Uh, so I tried to limit my time, and I have used different type of straps to help alleviate that pain. But yes, it's very sad, and it's something that is probably you're gonna hear more about it in the on the news or social media. And yeah, there like anything in life, maybe a sport or maybe at work, repetitive stress injury is real, even when it comes to gaming. And the same thing with VR headsets. Yes, you have something very heavy in your head. Um, I do a lot of neck exercises. Um, again, back when I was in high school, I used to wrestle, I used to play football. There was a lot of things I do even today as I'm older that I do to work out with weights, work out my shoulders, work out my neck. But the thing is that a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people are just straight out gamers, and they'll play a lot of games and where there's a lot of head movement, and things are fine. They may feel some pain, but the more they do it on a daily basis, some people unfortunately get injured. And it's unfortunate that I noticed that some people playing certain shooter games where they had broken their necks, and they felt it's from a lot of the movement, a lot of looking around. As you can see, while I am doing this video, um, I play a lot of games, or I do things where, yes, I do look around, but it's not something where it's competitive, where I know, like certain shooters, you have to be on your toes. You have to look, left and right, and you have to do a lot of movements. Um, yes, I do like Beat Saber, stuff like that, but you're looking straight ahead. But I do have shooters, and I don't play them that much where I'm looking around all that much. If I do any shooters these days, it's mostly on the console or the PC. Um, Even though I do have them on VR, which is a little sad because these do cost quite a bit of money. But the thing is that I know my limits, and I could do them in short doses, but there's no way I could put a lot of time into it on VR. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I did see a video about it, and it's it's sad that there are injuries popping up, especially with people with broken necks. I could tell you right now, neck injuries, especially with a broken neck, that's something that you know, once you heal, uh, once you get your body to heal, once you get your neck to heal, it's just something you don't want to deal with ever again, especially as you get older. You got to treat your body, well, and have respect for it. And yeah, just try to know your limits. And once you start feeling that pain, that muscle pain, the neck pain, stop for a while. And for me, um, as you guys know, when I did workouts, I was really hardcore on a lot of the racket based sports. And I think I did one video, I think it was table tennis or even a baseball one, where I was talking about how I had a major injury on my shoulder and my arm. I couldn't do the movements that much, and um, I don't want to say it was through VR, but I was doing a lot of heavy workouts, trying to get my score up of certain workouts, and it was something that I've never experienced before. A certain shoulder or arm injury, and I said, you know what? I said in the video that once it got better, I'll get back into it. But to tell you the truth, I haven't got back into it because it took several months to heal. And I figure, you know what? I'll just try other games that I can do right now. Nothing too intensive. I did bring up the Racket NX game, which I enjoy, but instead of putting 2 hours or so into it, I only put like 30 minutes. And I said, you know what? I could feel my shoulder feeling weird again. I said, you know what? I'm not going to overdo it. And I just said, you know what? I 30 minutes is good enough, and I left it at that. Um, yeah, I understand people loving playing games, wanting to beat certain scores. I mean, I understand. I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer, and it's it's part of the gaming lifestyle of wanting to compete and also to get the highest score or to be the best or do your best. But again, when it comes to injuries and preventing injuries, you guys just have to know your limits, know your body. If you're feeling that pain, take a break. If you're starting to notice that something unusual happening around your neck, your shoulder, your arms, movements that you're not usually used to doing so much because of through VR or through anything gaming or even again working on the PC or the way you sit, the way you type or so, you have to figure out ways to alleviate that pain. Again, the work environment, they are pushing heavily on ergonomics, the way you sit, the way you have your wrists, the way you have your arm position and stuff like that, and how you type. And a lot of companies are really paying a lot of money due to workman's comp. And then you have your things that you do at home. Um, Again, a lot of people who complain about the ligament in their thumbs from playing certain games on their controller for overdoing it. Again, there's just so many other things: tennis, baseball, football, a lot of certain injuries, and you know, um, yeah, it's just again, you just got to be careful, know your limits, and just take precautions and do whatever you can to prevent those injuries from happening or getting worse. So I'll leave it at that, and I hope I made some sense with this video. But yeah, just be careful, and you all take care. Again, I love VR. I enjoy VR. I enjoy gaming, but at the same time, you gotta know your limits. So take care. Again, by the way, this is a cool game. Again, a lot of these sports games are definitely worth it. A lot of these shooters are definitely worth it. They're fun and entertaining. But yeah, you start to get to know your limits through playing a lot of these games, especially this one right here, Thrill of the Fight, boxing. Anyway, take care. Stop recording.